But as you were saying earlier, is it something about society? Is it about the system? Is it about the fact that we've lost that team, that village around the children? Because as you said, when we were younger, we were brought up by the aunties and the uncles. Forget the fact that they weren't blood. A lot of the times we didn't know that they weren't blood until we got to big ages.
An adult could come up to you and say something to you. Like, I had a friend the other day, he phoned me, and he's like, he saw my son on the train. And he said he was in a different area, so that's the kind of thing. He went up to him, hi, what are you doing here?
Exactly.
And he's in a position to say, what are you doing here? Like, he phoned me, everything was fine, so we didn't send him home or take him home. But in this day and age, it's rare. You could go up to a child and say, yo, what are you doing? And you could get told to...
Yeah, I think a lot of adults are scared. Yeah, a lot are scared.
But you see what happened? Isn't that about our parenting? Isn't that about
having respect
for values that we've given our children? Because, you know, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and she was saying, remember when your mum's friends used to come around and you couldn't sit in the sitting room and look in their face and get involved in their conversations? Now, a lot of parents in this day and age are friends with their children, so you've lost that boundary. So not only the children get to an age where they no longer have that respect for you, they don't have the respect for the elders outside of your front door because you haven't taught them that. The values and the respect, the manners, the please, the thank you that we were brought up with, a lot of the children now don't have it.
I think it's our responsibility as well to provide them with something to respect as well, like being around, like setting that example, providing that, because I know my aunties and uncles were very present. They were very involved with me. What are you up to? Even call me. You know, when they have that talk to you before they talk to your parents. You're like, no, I don't want to pick up the phone. But you have to have that talk with them. What are you doing at school? How's it going? Etc. etc. Whereas these days, I've noticed a difference, a huge difference actually. As you say, the way they relate, the way adults are relating with particularly teenagers, in my experience, are completely different to when I was growing up. Like, I do have some people around me that I've had to have a word with. Like, you know, my daughter, she's still a child. She shouldn't be privy to the types of conversations that you're trying to have with her. That's not appropriate. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I feel like we also need to take that responsibility and really not be so caught up with ourselves and the rat race, because I don't just blame, there's no blame here, but society does put a lot of pressure on us, a lot of pressure on us, and sometimes we lose sight of things that are very, very important and the difference that we can make. We're too busy trying to keep our heads above water that we're not looking around us enough, I feel, from my experiences. So, and inputting something so simple as, oh, let me come and get your child for an hour or two. Let me just take them out and like just have a chat with them and take them for a little drink or ice cream or some food or something like that. It makes a huge difference, because that opens up another avenue for that child to say, oh, my mum's getting on my nerves, I can't speak to her, I can't speak to dad because he's going to tell me off, but I remember Uncle so-and-so did take me out and they said they're going to be there for me, so what I'm going to do now is give them a call instead of go to my friends or run out the house, etc., etc. You're creating another pathway for them, and I feel like we need to do that, because it's getting out of control. We're literally handing our children over to either the streets or social services, and I feel like we need to be a safety net for our children.
Someone to help decipher.
But that's where we talk about the family around the child. That's why we talk about the community, the village around the child. But we've got to give each other permission to be that parent to our child. You know, it's like your friend took the decision that actually I'm not so sure you're supposed to be here. But before
he feels he's got that position.
But you've given him that right. You know, a lot of parents ain't giving you that right anymore.
Why do you think that is?
Well, that's a very good question. Why do we think that? Because, you know, our parents, friends, were able to tell us off, as you said. So our parents' friends were able to call us one side. As adults now, we often have that laugh of, you know, if you were walking down the street and you saw your parents' friend, or you wouldn't be too loud on the bus, so you wouldn't be in that shop creating that habit, because we knew. But nowadays, we haven't given each other the authority to you know, tell off our children. And when I say tell them off, I mean, I suppose a lot of parents don't want you to talk to their children in a harsh way.
Yeah.
So you've got to be respectful to
the worried about how they're going to respond.
Yeah.
Exactly. If I say to your child, "Yes, don't do that," and then they go back and the mum's going to have a go at me, people will be like, you know what, let me just leave people to their business. And I think at a young age as well, because I think that cracks in more earlier, if you ask. Back in the day, like a young child, like a niece or a nephew, that I saw that was mine, they'll rip them up, like, you sit down there, don't move. Whereas now, you might get the mum looking at you like, no, it's fine, don't, it's my child, I'll discipline them. And it starts at that kind of age where I'm not in a position to discipline them as a 3-year-old. So by the time they get to 16, 17...
But it's not even 16, 17. I always say to parents, guess what, you know, we've got the toddlers who throw a tantrum. So you're making excuses for their behaviour when they're 3 and 5. You're making excuses for their behaviour when they're 8 or 9. By the time they get to 12, they're making excuses for their own behaviour. But they've learned what you've taught them.
That's something
I've had
to learn that. I've had to learn that because I have 2 children. I've got one daughter that's going to be 15 next week and another one who's 2.5. With my eldest daughter, I felt very protective over her. She's got a very unique personality. Like she's an amazing child, but she's very strong-willed, and she's not a conformist, which isn't bad. But certain times in life, you need to know when to conform, such as in school, etc., etc. Now, she's in a predominantly white school, and I was very aware of certain prejudices and stereotypes, etc., etc. So I was hyper vigilant of labeling, etc., etc. So when she would do certain things, I would first and foremost come in of the approach that are you treating her equally? Is this fair, etc., etc. And then if she had done something wrong, it would be at home that I would deal with that. And what it taught her to do was navigate the system very well, and she became very savvy in that. And not only the system, not only at school, she took that skill set and applied it right, exactly. So I had to look at, where's she learnt this? Why is this happening? How come she's not taking any responsibility for her behaviour? She's always got a reason. She would do something blatantly wrong, and she will always have reasoning behind it and expect for whatever has happened for it to be resolved, because that is what I had taught her. I taught her that no matter what you do, because I've always worked in schools and I've always worked with children, I do have some certain skill sets and knowledge and how to navigate things. So she now became reliant on me to smooth over whatever mess she had made. So I've had to actively recondition her, take responsibility for my part to play in it as an enabler, because that's exactly what I was doing. And what you say is very true, because even my brother would say to her uncles that, you know, would be talking to her about certain things, because I had my own feelings about a man talking harshly to a young girl, my own feelings. I would sometimes, like you say, intervene and say, no, don't you know, I'll handle this. That's how I used to be. However, I've learned so much. Give thanks for learning, because with my 2.5-year-old, I'm like, tell her. No, don't come to me. You go and talk to uncle. Do you know what I mean? It's like that. I have learned. So what